Hey there guys, welcome to this episode of Landlord Go. In the previous episode, I don't really remember what we did, but I think we bought the INS Kunjali because after that episode, I think we bought the Hornbill House and the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Museum. I'm not so sure, but something between the two of those. And then after that, there was a trend for more, and which is a department store, so I bought more, and I also upgraded the property with these whatever 5% additional revenue thing is. It was only 2 coins, so I think we're going to hold this property and invest into more shares of this property. Since it's a 2-star property worth 43 million right now, maybe we can get it to 500 million with the upgrades and everything. I haven't even upgraded to level 2 yet because it's going to cost me 53 million to upgrade to level 2, and we have discussed this in a previous episode that was shot a long time ago. I think it was episode 3 or 4, I'm not so sure which one. Please go check it out. In that we discussed that it doesn't matter how many number of shares you have. So we have 1700 right now. Even if I had 5000 shares, the cost to upgrade this property would be the same, which is 53.4 million. So instead of having 17 million, if we have 17,000 shares and then we try and upgrade the property, so the property would be worth 44 million when we have the 17,000 shares. So if we upgrade it that time, it will cost us 53 million to double the value of the property. So we'll go from 434 million to 868 million, which is 53 million. So that's the strategy behind not upgrading right now, just accumulating more and more shares of the property as they appear on the map. That's what we have done with these properties as well. The Hotel Biruchi, New Banaras Dairy Farm, Apurva, Pure Veg Restaurant, Venkatesh Dry Cleaners, and Tapashra Royals. The thing with Hotel Biruchi and Venkatesh Dry Cleaners is that we did not actually discover this strategy that well, or we didn't actually think about implementing it into our game, and that's the reason that Venkatesh Dry Cleaners is at level 10 and Hotel Abiruchi is at level 6. But this episode is not about the properties that we own. It's about this new trend that has popped up. It's a 50% off on cities, and if you've watched my previous episodes, you know that there are 2 major cities that we can buy outside of Mumbai, and there are a few cities inside as well. So the 2 major cities that we can buy, if we go into the map, are Taloja village or Taloja city over here, and there is one more here, which is Uran in this location. We're not going to move our agent right now. So Taloja, if we go in there, it's worth 9.4 million, and there's a 50% off on that. So in short, it's an 18 billion property, I'm sorry, 9.4 billion. So it's an 18 billion property that we can buy for 9.4 billion. And same with Uran, which is, I think I just checked it out and it was 27 billion. So it's a 54 billion property that we can buy for 27 billion because of the offer. Now the thing is, we recently bought INS Kunjali and it gives us 53 million per day revenue. So the thing is, if we sell INS Kunjali right now, which is 5.1 billion, so we get that much cash, 20% of 5.1 billion, that would be about 4 billion something, and then we can sell the other properties, the smaller ones, the Hornbill House, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangralaya, and Shani Mandir, and in total we'll be somewhere around 4.5 billion after we sell all of those properties. We can then go ahead and buy 4.5 billion worth shares of the Taloja city. But the problem is that it will take about 4 or 5 days to complete that. We have that experience with INS Kunjali, so the paperwork will take 4 or 5 days, and the 5-day revenue of INS Kunjali is 50 million per day, so that would be about 250 million. Now we don't really collect all the revenue every day, but there are things in the game like watching ads and doubling your revenue, so we end up in the 40 or 50 million bracket anyway. So it's a 250 million loss for 5 days, and then flip the property again to buy a different property. So the property INS Kunjali, we bought it at a 20% discount, so there is no profit, no loss if we flip this property to the bank, except for the speculator and other things that work in this game. But hypothetically, there is no profit and no loss, and it's been in my portfolio for 1 day, so we made about 50 million with the property. So for 5 billion, 50 million is like what, 10%? Or is it 1%? It's just 1% of 5 billion. So because it's just 1%, we only made 1% profit. Now if we sell this property right now for 5.1 billion and buy another property, we are making a 250 million loss, which is technically speaking it would be about 5% loss. Am I doing the math right here? I think I am. So it's a 5% loss on this property, Ines Kunjali, in the revenue department, because for 5 days there won't be enough revenue generated from this property. We will not be generating any revenue from this property. So the new property then would be a 50% discount going on right now on the trend. So the new property would be hypothetically a 30% profit when we flip it, even if you flip it immediately to the bank, and then 30% minus 5%, so that's what minus 250 million, and somewhere around the same mark would be the costing of the new property, 4.55 billion. So we can safely say that it would be if you buy it for 4.5 million, it would be a 9 billion property because there's a 50% discount. So for 9 billion, 250 million is somewhere around the 3% mark. Actually 270 million is the 3% mark. So in theory we are losing 3%, but we are gaining 30% because that's a 50% discount property. So I think we are making 27%, and that's a good amount of money. But I made this calculation and everything right now to tell you that if there is a property, a trend that is only at a 20-25% discount, the thing is, it's not worth it to wait 5 or 6 days for the new property to sign its paperwork and sell our original old property. It's better to make the 250 million from this property and then invest in other trends and then grow that money. And that's what we initially decided to do with the Ines Kunjali. But this is a really good trend, and we are making 27% anyway, even if we subtract the 250 million loss that we're going to get because we're going to sell this property. And there could be errors in that calculation. I just did it right now, so whatever it is, but because it's a 50% discount, we are always going to be at least 20-25% in profit, even if we lose our 5 or 6 days. That's one thing. The second thing is, because there are two properties, Taloja Village, which is over here in Taloja, and Uran, we can split the 4.5 billion into two different properties, and that will save us a lot of time. The time required to do the paperwork will actually half, so that's a good thing. So we're going to do that. But before we do anything, let me just go ahead and upgrade my paperwork accountant so that the paperwork time reduction goes 1% up. So now 1% may not seem a lot, but if something takes 5 days, which is 24 into 5, 120 hours, 1% is actually 1.2 hours a reduction of time. So that's not much, but whatever it is. So let's just buy this, and now we are at a 20% reduction. And then let's just go ahead. First of all, we'll have to sell the properties to get the money. So let's sell Ines Kunjali. I really didn't want to sell this, and if you go in here, it's 14,000. So we are never going to hold this property. I actually wanted to hold this property and buy the rest of the shares. It's just we only have 16 shares, which are worth 5 billion. It's a 253 billion property. So I wanted to keep it, but we can't keep it because we have to look at the long-term aim and not just the short-term aim. So let's sell it to the bank, and we are going to get 20% reduction. So we get 4 billion from this property, and that gives us, why does it say 2.2 billion? There's a glitch. So again, it says 2.2 billion and now it's 4 billion. So that was a glitch. It took a little bit of time to load that, and then we can sell the Hornbill house. I think this takes 63 coins, so we're never going to hold this property anyway, so let's sell that as well. And then let's also sell the Shani Mandir, which we bought for flipping as well. I think this is going to take 5 coins. So maybe we can hold the Shani Mandir. It's a 2-star property, never updated, never upgraded. And we are the sole shareholder, 1,000 shares for 78 million. And then if we use this, we can boost up the revenue with just 5 coins. And it's a really good property. 78 million just takes 111 million to double the value of the property. So maybe we can keep that. Let's just go ahead and sell this one though, because I don't think we're gonna hold this. It takes 69 coins, so now we're gonna do that. Let me just sell this property, and we get 92 million from that. So we have 4.6 billion now, and I don't think anything else can be sold more. We're gonna hold more, and Shani Mandir, we just discovered it only takes 5 coins to upgrade that for the revenue, so we're gonna hold that property as well. I don't think 78 million is gonna make a huge difference in our portfolio now, because we are in the 5-6 billion range, so it doesn't matter. And with 4.6 billion, we are going to make a property. We're going to get 2 properties, but the total valuation would be 9.2 billion. So we're gonna hit the really good sweet spots of the game now. Let me just go ahead and we can buy the entire thing, 577 shares of this entire property, Taloja Mumbai, or we can get it to somewhere around here at 200, 250, 260 million. But the thing with this is it's a gamble, because we don't know. The next property is 27 million, so we don't know how many shares there are for that property and how much that property is worth, in terms of the number of shares that are outstanding. And so maybe because of this, we could end up with 100 or 200 million excess cash in our account. But that's just the risk we have to take. Or we'll have to just go to Uran first, buy the city first, and then come back to Taloja and get it. So we can do that, but since Uran is like 16 or 17 minutes away, let me just see, where's that Uran thing? It's over here. So that's 18 minutes, and that would be like 5 ads, so I don't want to do that. So let's take a risk of 200, 300 million, doesn't matter. So let's buy 300 shares of this for 2.3 billion. Let's buy that, and now it's in our portfolio. Let me see how much time it takes. It takes 3 days, 16 hours. If we would have bought the entire thing, it would have taken 5 days, because we know that from the INS Kunjali experience we had last time. So 3 days, 16 hours is still a lot of time, but compared to what it could have been, it's a lot less. And then let's just move to the Uran section, which is again, this is too much. So it's over here. Let me just get over here. And now I'm going to watch some ads and I'll be back, so hold on a minute. Okay guys, so we have moved to the Uran section. The thing is, there was a glitch in my recording and it didn't record anything after we watched the ads. So actually I did the entire thing, but it didn't record it. So we were just going to revise what happened. We actually bought the Uran. You can see it says owned. We bought about, I don't know, let's just go to the portfolio. We bought about 263 shares of Uran for 2 point something billion, and they are worth 4.4 billion. So it would be 2.2 billion because of 50% discount, and it's going to take 3 days, 14 hours to finish. So both of these properties will be completed in 3 days and 15 hours. So that's 3.5 days. Really good amount of time. Now we were in the 6.2 billion range before actually buying these 2 properties when we had INS Kunjali. But now if we go to the section of our profile, it says 11.2 billion. So we have jumped from 6.2 billion to 11.2 billion, which is a huge leap, and that leap has enabled us to really climb the leaderboard. So if you go into the country, it says 207 because it doesn't refresh. You can see below the flag of the country India, there's 7 minutes written over there. Now it's turned to 6 minutes, so it's going to refresh after 6 minutes. It refreshed to last time we sold our INS Kunjali, and that's the reason it's saying 207, because if you go down to 207, you can see that it is somewhere in the range of 491 million. So it's not even a half a billion, and we actually have 11.2 billion. The same thing with the server. It's at 27 because, again, if you go to 27, it's 491 million. It will take some time to refresh, 6 minutes to refresh, but the good thing about the game is it refreshes instantly with the world. And before we go and see the world ranking, which I actually already saw in the previous recording, which didn't record because of a glitch. But the thing is, we were above 10,000 when we had INS Kunjali, and we did not buy these 2 properties. So we were at 6.2 billion in India, and we were above 10,000 in the world. But now we have jumped nearly 1,500 ranks, and we are 8.6k in the world. You can see 8647. So we have cleared the 9k range, and we are in the 8k range, and this is a huge thing for us. And it also shows 5 minutes under the world symbol, but for some reason it doesn't take that much time. It just refreshes instantly in the world, and that's a huge leap for us. We are at 103 in our level, and that's really good for us. And that's the thing that I talked about in the previous recording, which didn't record because of a glitch. And then we have 134 coins left in our account. Let's just go to the account, and it's going to take 250 coins to go 1% up on the account on next time. And I think that is not worth it. So we will upgrade the other things right away, because there's no point in waiting for more coins to show up to upgrade the account. And maybe the lawyer is going to take 250 million, so no, not going to do that. 250 coins, sorry. The auctioneer, we never use him, so no need of doing that. And the innovator is going to get our property costs down, so it will generate more revenue. Speculator is going to get our property costs up, so 60 coins. It's going to actually go from 20% to 22% the entire portfolio. So 11.2 million plus 2% of 11.2 million, which would be 11.2 billion, so which would be 220 million. So then 220 million, so that would be 11.4 billion in the range, in the entire valuation of our property. And that's something we need, because we want to upgrade and climb the leaderboard as soon as possible. That's the aim of this series. So we're going to buy this, and then we're going to buy it one more time, because we have 74 and it only takes 70, so we're going to go 4% up, so it will boost up to 11.6 billion. That should happen theoretically. Let's see what happens. It has boosted up to 11.6 billion. So now if we go into the country, it still hasn't refreshed. It actually has refreshed, so we are at 72 in the country now. Let me just scroll down. And yes, we are at 11.2 billion, just below Hacker Pro. And in the server we are at 16. There hasn't been a lot of jumping around or a lot of movement in the server. And in the country now we are at 8647, so it hasn't refreshed instantly this time. It says 11.2 billion, so maybe after 13 minutes it will refresh and it will count it as 11.6 billion. And even in the country it is saying 11.2 billion. But I think the next one, Hacker Pro, is 12 point something. Yeah, it's 12.2, so we are still going to stay in the 72 rank, doesn't matter. And in the server it's 12.3, so we're going to stay in the same ranking, doesn't matter. But it's a huge leap for us, and we used our coins the right way, we used our money the right way, and this was a really exciting property, really nice trend, really high amount of discount, really overall one of the best properties that we bought this entire month, or in this entire game ever. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe, and also hit the bell icon or the notification icon so you don't miss a video when it's out. We'll see you next time in a new one.